Okay, just wanted to point out a couple things with the PXE 80. This is the new Flex PXE 80 unit. Some people refer to it as the PXE. Thanks to Mike Phillips down at Auto Geeks. We appreciate that. This video is, I want to show you a few things with the unit that have come up as people have been purchasing it. The unit itself, it's a 12 volt lithium battery system. And it has a couple different features when you first use the unit. One thing is this safety switch. It has a setting where if I have my thumb on the front of the switch and I turn it on, no matter what speed I'm on, it's going to run at the same speed, which is actually a really slow speed. I'll throw this 12 millimeter 3-inch pad in there so you can see that. It's going to move really slow. And even if I change the speed, it stays at that same speed. This is actually designed for as you're putting on product, you can easily just spread that product without slinging it all over the place. But this safety switch is kind of tricky. You have to, because it's called a safety switch, you have to release the safety by, which you can see, I'm just pushing and just depressing that a little bit. I'm going to put my thumb forward and then roll it and lock it. And it stays on. And then that's when you see the real speed. That's when you really see the real speed. And it's designed so that you can quickly click that button. If you drop the unit or anything like that, the unit's going to turn off. But you see, just by pushing that forward, I'm able to move my product. My safety switch, I keep my thumb on the back side of the switch, roll my finger forward and lock it. One of the other things you saw while I just did that was I had it on speed 4, and when I turned it back on, it dropped down to speed 3. That's also a safety mechanism in there. Before I just turned it off, I lowered it down to speed 1. And what happens, when you lower that speed down to 1, 2, or 3, it will automatically come back on that. So if you're using like the rotary setting, you know, you're not going to use that on speed 4 in rotary. So you're typically going to use it on 1. But if I have it in rotary setting, the internal memory will always come back to 1. But if you have that speed on 4 and then you go to turn it back on, it's only going to go to speed 3. And that's an internal safety program that the unit does have on it. And you saw me quickly change from a rotary to my 12 millimeter just by pulling that collar back on the unit. It's literally pull that collar back and it slides out. It self-seats itself inside the unit, so it's very easy to go from 1-inch rotary to 3 millimeter or 12 millimeter 3-inch throw. And while we're talking about it, you also see I have here a 3 millimeter throw. You can tell the difference between the 12 millimeter and the 3 millimeter based on the weight size that you have here. And that really just helps you identify 3 millimeter and 12 millimeter throw. You just want to make sure that you don't use this 3 millimeter throw with a 3-inch backing plate for trying to polish. You won't get good rotation. It's not designed for that. The 3 millimeter throw really designed for sandpaper and denibbing and things like that. But while we're talking about it, the rotary attachment, you do notice when you get the unit that the rotary attachment has a little knob in there, and then the 1-inch pads have these holes in them. The 1-inch rotary, or the rotary attachment, is not designed to go on to the 3-inch backing plate. You see that the 3-inch backing plate doesn't have that same hole, so it will not go on there. It's just not designed for that. That's not what the rotary attachment was designed for to start. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please comment if you have any other questions.